boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talking, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moonrise just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talking, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moonrise just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, The King. Now, I got to fix a little something because right now we got something popping off over on TikTok. Now, I want to thank Lycos for showing up. I want to thank the Don, Kadita, is it Kadita? Or Kadata? The Don. And Adidas 20 member for 23 months, Soldier S rank. I salute you, Soldier. So let me fix this up because I got a little something that's popping off over on TikTok, and let me fix this up real quick. I got to fix that huge. Yeah, I got to fix that up too. Hold on, topics. Hold on, let me fix that up. Oh boy. Yo, what up, Sippy? Oh, look ahead. Boom, did that one. All right, now I gotta fix the TikTok, right? Because the TikTok is looking kind of crazy. All right, hold on. Let me open that up. Move the TikTok over because they really can't see me like that on TikTok. And I want people to see me on TikTok, baby. There it is. It's locked in. It's locked in. You like the new robe? The wife got me a nice new robe. I like it. It's furry. Warm around the ears. Make the boy feel good. Eternal was good. The real Eternal's in the building. Blessings. Be nice was good. All right. Legendary Intel. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know what it is. We run it up on these bumps. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. Now, a lot of times people like to say Happy New Year. And who am I if I'm not the person to be my brother's keeper? Education and information is what we disseminate over here. So we're not going to walk around bumbling and stumbling like fools, acting like this is the time of the new year. We won't do that because I don't want you dumb, deaf, and blind. You're here to get educated, enlightened, and I hope it treats you fine. So, the new year doesn't start until April 1st. And the reason why it's April Fool's Day, because you were fooled to believe that the new year started January 1st when you're celebrating Janus. Now, I gave you some information, and it's up to you to seek that out and to get further enlightenment to understand. They call it the dead of winter for a reason, because everything is dead now, right? Crops and everything starts growing the 1st of April, the spring of new year, spring of new life, new invigoration, if you will. So that's me giving you some of that positive energy going forward. A little knowledge itself don't hurt, right? The more you know, the more you grow. And that's what we're trying to do on this show. Hey, Tay, what's good? Boy, I got topics. I got topics for days. We've been away for such a minute that last week seems like it's so far away, right? You saw the full moon last night. If anybody was outside last night, got a chance to see the full moon last night, you understood what that meant, all right? But looking forward to the Xbox and what's going on. We got a lot of events that's showing up. We got 2 events this month, right? We got one indie event that's going to show like 40-something games, and we got a Crimson Desert that's supposed to be shown there. I think that's the spiritual successor or something close to Black Desert. I was infatuated with some stuff of Black Desert early on, but didn't get a chance to jump into that. I do got a question for a lot of you people. What's up? The Black John was good. You got your robe on too, baby? Hell yeah, man. Yo, is it me or does a nice robe make you feel good? It make you feel good, right? Blessings. It make you feel good. And listen, I got the Versace robe wifey brought me. That was a splurge for the birthday. That was when the boy turned 50. And she was like, yo, a woman will let you know very easy and very quickly if your game ain't up to par. Like, yo, you're looking good, baby, but your robe game is garbage. Like, you walk in the bedroom and you come out the shower and your robe game is garbage. So she's a robe woman. So she want to make sure that the robe game, and I listen, there's not one time did I ever go inside the store and say, yo, let me get a robe. Right? But they do change the game. I ain't even going to hold you. She on to something. I ain't going to lie. She earned another vacation this year, bro. Nice and warm, right? Keep you snuggy, right? I ain't going to hold you, son. I ain't going to hold you. So, no, listen. So I got some information. I got information about something that people wasn't thinking about. And it's important to us, right? I'm going to tell you how it's important to us. It's hugely important to gamers, Xbox gamers. Remember when I told you how ASUS and Microsoft was partnering and how ASUS had designs on making RAM? And, people came out and was like, they're not doing that. They got shareholders. They got stuff like that. Those stuff is called a rollout. When stuff gets leaked out early on, it kind of hurts those projections because it's dollars and cents tied to that, right? 1 percentage point changes how stocks are. It's big money here. So, of course, they're going to come out and say, oh, no, we're not doing that. We're going to shoot that down. How many times have you heard a company, you've heard the rumors, but then you heard a company come out and try to refute what is actually going on? That's what's happening here. But to hell with that part. The thought is Microsoft and ASUS is in bed together. All right? If for not anything else, let's talk about what they have right now. To hell with the future, right? Which is very close. But to hell with that part. Let's talk about what they have right now. What they have right now is that Xbox ASUS ROG Ally X in the regular. It's priced pretty steep, right? If you ask me, right? That's not an impulse buy. For some people to go get that device, that's more or less an investment, right? We're looking at gaming now as an investment, not impulse buying, not thinking for the short term. We're thinking for the long term when we go out to purchase these devices based upon our finances at that point, right? And ASUS, if they're going to be buddy, partner, hand in hand when it comes to what Microsoft is doing, because we care what Microsoft is doing because Microsoft is tied to Xbox and Xbox is tied to Microsoft. What up, 30 Below? Salute. And if I didn't mention anybody here, I apologize. Tried to go through the line. Also, packages was given out. Now, a lot of people got their packages. Now, what I'm going to tell you is this. I'm going to tell you this. I got one contract with you dudes. One contract. One contract. We treat each other with respect, right? If I send you something, you won something. You won something by being a member, and I appreciate that. I'm not going to hold you. Members are the lifeblood of the stream. So is subs, right? You sub, you here, we there together. But this is the contract. I sent you something, post it, show it. What I don't like about the community, because Attic and I was talking today. Now, I'm gonna get back to ASUS. Don't worry about that. Attic and I was talking today, and what I don't like about the community, and I'm talking about the content creators, not you guys yet. I'm gonna get to you guys. The content creators, what he's noticing is everybody acts like there's a limited amount of money, there's a limited amount of people, there's a limited amount. And they don't want to share, collaborate, and be part of something greater than themselves. It's like hiding a pearl or a diamond, right? My wife told me the story about God gave 3 people a pearl or a diamond, right? Something of value. And one buried it, one displayed it, and I forgot what the other one did. But the whole thought process is that was supposed to be shown and being proud of, right? This community is something to be shown, connected to, and proud of. And for a lot of us, we collaborate and we are integrated. Like I was supposed to do a C Money show yesterday, but I couldn't do it because we was doing Fight Night Friday. Shout out to everybody that came through for Fight Night Fridays. Shout out to Legendary Intel. We were doing Elden Ring Night Reign until the dude showed up, and then we started doing City of Wolves. And we got some good fights, and shout out to Cray and everybody that showed up, Dip Down, everybody. The normal suspects, our dudes. So we talk about collaboration. I got to get back on Boomstick Show. I was talking to Colt Eastwood for the holiday and get back to his show. Well, but we have to force to that, right? So that has to be that connection. That's the connection I have with the content creators, right? I got to make that stronger. Maybe I'm lacking someplace. I got to help out. But with you guys, if I send you something, post it. Because you know what that does? That shows another person, oh, they're connected. They're actually, oh, this is a thing. Like, they're human. What we don't want to do is idolize, all right? And don't idol me. Don't do that. Together, we the same, right? We play video games, we jump in, we play video games, we talk. The only thing that's different is I jump in front of a mic and I try to bring information to you guys because maybe your day is busy. Maybe you're doing something else. Maybe you don't care about being in front of no camera. Right? That's it. And go to shows and all that other stuff. That's what we work hand in hand, simpatico. So if you got the package, and 10 of y'all should have got it. The last one is going to be a little bit late because Intel didn't give me his stuff until I think it was like a couple of days ago. So, but his stuff went out on Friday. Or was it Friday or Thursday? Whatever. No, it was Friday because Thursday was the holiday. It went out then. So, okay. So he will get his stuff probably by Tuesday because I send it FedEx or UPS and in the worst case, U.S. Postal Mail. But let's get back to ASUS, right? Now, let me show you what I'm talking about because I know a lot of you dudes is like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Let me see. Bring that up. And then I'm doing so many different things on this screen today. Boom. All right. So listen, on January 5th, 2026, due to the rising costs of memory and storage components, which are driven by AI-related demand, the company ASUS has not specified the exact price increase or percentages or provided a full list of affected products. But ASUS is increasing increasing select product prices January 5th due to high memory costs. Now, the affected product categories will be laptops, desktop PCs, graphic cards, gaming handhelds, and motherboards. Gaming handhelds. Gaming handhelds. Where we at right now? Right? So we're in the position of watching something that we've never saw before. Now, I talked to Attic about the reasons why, and we talked about the AI-driven stuff, but the contracts is being purchased by larger entities, governments, larger corporations, right? And that's something that we can't compete with as consumers. But what they're doing is they're taking the cost of the loss from them dealing in bulk with these other entities, and they're pricing us out. I thought that Xbox Asus ROG Ally X was, and I gotta say, Microsoft gave me mine. Send me mine. So let me be real and explain to you. I had a review copy I got from them that is mine, that I talk about, that I use, that I go on about all the time. I did not have to feel the sting of the purchase, but I was going to feel the sting of the purchase because I was going to get it regardless, right? But fortunately, I didn't have to. But it is a burden upon my shoulders to bring information based upon, I thought that it was an exorbitant amount of money for that device in the beginning to begin with. Looking now, it looks like it's about to go further. $1,000? Try 12. Remember when I said $14.99 for the next Xbox, and dudes was like, I don't think so. I honestly think these things are going to get to that part. When I had to reassess my thought process when it came to the Steam machine, I'm like, it's not going to be as cheap as I thought it would be. You know, when we say console-like prices, no, they're going for a console-like demographic, but console-like prices, if you look at the baseline of the console-like prices now, you're looking at $700. That has never, in our history of gaming, the baseline of $700 has always been for a premium product such as a Neo Geo or a new product entering the market that has a technology that's built upon it that is groundbreaking. There is no groundbreaking materials that are in these devices at this moment that warrant the price. There's no change in technology that is warranting the price change. What is happening is there is a battle that's going on, and we are the casualties when it comes to this. And we're being taken advantage of because, again, they tell you ahead of time, we're about to screw you, and you got to say yes or no. And the problem is our desires to have our hobby is weighing us down based upon that. Because we can wait for deals, but the deals come from after they raise the price, and then they say, oh, they raised it by $50. Then they give you a discount by $50. They didn't do anything, right? That's the oldest trick in the book. Hollywood Rules, member for 25 months. I salute you, Soldier X rank. Good morning. Happy New Year, my brother. Wishing you good health and even more success. Blessings. Steve Forrest was good. Always great content. Blessings. If you want all the bells and whistles, you're going to have to pay for it. This is just how the handheld PC market is. It's conversations like that, it's language like that that fosters these companies to feel they can move with impunity. What are we supposed to get? Kibbles and bits? What are we supposed to... Listen, I was looking at something the other day, and I was looking at medium house prices back in the 60s and 70s. Medium house prices back in the 60s and 70s, the most was $10,000. My house was built in 1940 something, right? So you would say the medium average house price is probably like 5 to 7,000. 5 to 7,000 for the house that I'm in right now. Now maybe they did some other stuff and put some other piping and all that stuff throughout the years. And by the time it got to me, which was 10 years ago, it took me 43 years of my life to get to a house, right? I had condos and stuff like that, but I've always wanted a house. By the time it got to me, the price is completely ridiculous. But it's stuff that we've seen grow in value, right? Now that's an asset. Depreciating assets are devices that depreciate over a period of time. As the hardware, the handhelds. In very small cases, you can get a device that will appreciate with time. But that's due to the limited supply of said device or the limited edition of what the device was made from. We're not looking at that situation where $500 means nothing when we go to purchase these devices. We're looking at a situation where it's going to be upwards of $1,000-something. When you go to trade that in, are you getting that back? Are you getting equal value to that? It's an asset that depreciates. So you can't tell me that asset that entered the marketplace at $500, and I'm talking about the consoles now, which are $200 more than what they entered the marketplace at, it didn't appreciate in value. Actually, it depreciated in value. But they're raising the price like this is a stock commodity. And we have to fit the bill. And with language like that telling us, oh, this is how stuff is, and we got to take it, that's not how we move. Over here, we about deals, right? We get sales, we get deals. When stuff happens, that's how we supposed to move. But apparently, the way other bigger corporations are imposing, it's like sanctions on us because we are fitting the bills for other stuff that they're losing in other areas. If they lose in another area, the price raises on us. If they're selling all these AI chips, if they're selling all this RAM and they're selling all this stuff to all these other companies, shouldn't the price be driven lower? Why would the price go up if you're selling as way much more? Because we're fitting the bill for whatever losses is on the balance sheets that we don't see. Hollywood Rules, Soldier X ranks. It's wild, bro. I've been a gamer ever since Atari 2600. Never seen prices move up like this and no new technology. No drops in price on old consoles. Nasty work. Blessings. C. Thomas, 1415, member for 12 months, Soldier S rank. I salute you, Soldier. Yo, King, did you hear that the PlayStation 5 got jailbroken? Yes. I'm going to talk about that problem because it's a problem on the manufactured originals that is built into like the kernel. And it's at a base level that they can't change it. Right? So, okay, now that device might be worth way more money based on now I can do whatever the hell I want with this device. But how many people know how to operate like that and move like that? And does that accelerate the whole thought process of the PlayStation 6 getting to the marketplace? Or do they do like I say and make a handheld, call that whatever, the PlayStation, whatever the hell, and that thing is linked up to the television? Maybe at some point, whatever I'm saying makes some sense to some people. Because the way we're going, nobody is going to be purchasing consoles at $1,200 to $1,500. They're just not. They're going to stay in the used market, and the used market is going to circulate, and it's going to completely be live service games that's maybe able to run on your phone. But with that, I left like probably 15 to 20 games last year that I didn't get a chance to play. 15 to 20 games. This is the first time in gaming that I've gone into next year with the amount of games that I wanted to play that I didn't get a chance to play. Now, all of that is due to the fact that I've probably made over 320 videos last year alone. The most videos that I've ever made. This is the most consistent that I've ever been with one level of profession as far as something that I took as a hobby, and but I take it very seriously, and that's how committed I am. I'm like driven in that manner. So in doing so, it shortened my time for leisure, right? And I had to do a lot of NDA games. So again, a lot of games that I did want to play to get into, I didn't get a chance to. And I don't know if a lot of you guys are suffering with that. Was there, I think this seems to be like the most good games came out, and we're not used to it not being from our favorite like game like manufacturers, right? Like Nintendo. Like they had a couple of games last year that were really looked at like Metroid. I don't know why Metroid always gets the short end of the stick from me. I don't know why. Let me see. Xbox barely sold 2 million globally in the entire year. If you actually believe that, you're crazy. I know that was from VG Tech and all that other stuff, but what you should have never put at the end of that was smiley face. He said tariffs are real too. We played MAGA games and got MAGA prices. Okay. Will you lose online? PlayStation hack. I think so. You lose online for that. All right. So let me get back to what he says with Xbox barely sold 2 million globally. See, the problem, what you don't understand, how Xbox is a different beast than what you're used to, because you're still stuck in the same old parroting points. I hear it from you. You sound like the rest of the stupid robots that's permeating Twitter or some of the other toxic places. Microsoft selling, let's say 2 million. Let's say they did, right? They sold only 2 million. You say PlayStation, let's say PlayStation sold 80 million, right? Let's say they sold, right? Not shipped. And let's just say, whatever. 20 million. I don't care. Whatever number you choose to use, let's go with it. How come they're making the same money? Because any person that knows any goddamn thing understands that the real money's in software. So if they're selling software to everyone, who's winning? Software is a click of a button. Because they're not really selling discs. They're selling your license. So, who's smart? And who's stupid? That little haha that you put at the end shows that you were championing a corporation that claimed that they sold a bunch, but making the same money as the person that didn't sell a bunch. You see, because one person is the plug and the other person is a worker. So either you're about that cash or you're selling your ass. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. So we know Microsoft is about that cash. So that just leaves the other one for you. Right? This is where you jump in a conversation, you get handled. Respectably, though. I'm going to do it respectfully, though. I'm going to do it respectfully, though. I'm going to do it respectfully. I'm not going to do you dirty. I'm going to do it respectfully. Because you showed up, and I do respect your views. I do respect your time, right? Because your time means more than anything, because you don't get it back. Because when you're at the end of your rope, what you're going to want is more time. All right. This is what I was talking about. And this is the problem with the PlayStation. Now, The PlayStation 5's ROM keys leaked online, opening up permanent vulnerability. Permanent vulnerability. In the final 24 hours, the final hours of 2025, a set of PlayStation 5 Level 0 boot ROM keys was leaked online, exposing a permanent hardware-level vulnerability in every console manufactured to date. The security breach is considered unpatchable for current users because the cryptographic keys are physically etched into the console's custom AMD APU silicon read-only memory and serve as the root trust for the entire system boot process. The keys of the breach: permanent vulnerability. Because the keys reside in the hardware ROM, Sony cannot change or patch them through software updates on existing consoles. Unpatchable chain of trust. These keys verify the initial stage of the bootloader with them. Researchers and hackers can now decrypt and analyze the deepest levels of the PlayStation 5 security architecture. The impact on models. Every standard, digital, and pro model currently in the wild is affected by this vulnerability. Future mitigations. To address the flaw, Sony will likely need to release a new hardware revision, such as a future super slim model featuring updated APU silicon with different keys. Long-term implications. Custom firmware. The leak significantly lowers the barrier for developers to create permanent cold boot jailbreaks that do not require rerunning software exploits after every reboot. Emulation advancements. Access to these keys allow developers to replicate the PlayStation 5 encrypted boot process more accurately, potentially accelerating PC emulation projects like Shade PlayStation 4. Homebrew and piracies. While not an instant jailbreak for end users, experts anticipate the leak will lead to more sophisticated game loaders and homebrew applicators throughout 2026. Sony has not yet issued an official public statement. Through aggressive DMCA takedowns of posts containing the leak hex strings have been reported. Well, damn. Well, goddamn. Damn. Woo. That escalated quickly. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes. That hurts. That hurts. That's going to absolutely destroy a lot of the bottom line because, all right, so the market is going to open up fully when it comes to PlayStation 6. You're going to actually see more of them sell based upon that information because a lot of them going to sell to individuals like myself back in the days, which I will get a bunch and then I will get them jailbroken and I will sell them for exorbitant amounts of money preloaded with stuff on them. Right? That's the business. If you're going to hustle, then you're going to hustle hard. You're going to go get some bread. You're going to go get all the used PlayStations that you can get. And then what you're going to do is take them, jailbreak them, load them, and float them. C. Thomas, 1415, $2 super chat. Dark days ahead for Sony, the new Dreamcast. Laughing my A off. Bro, it's been dark days for them. When they got cut back to 1 or 2 important games per year, it's been dark days for them. It's been dark days when you have to advertise Halo as one of your must-play games in the coming year. That's the difference. Some people may look at that as a flex, but I'm looking at it as it like, damn, it means that you have that little inside your cupboard that you're looking over to somebody that is making 70% off of your back. Now, let me tell you something about that 70-30, because I saw somebody on Twitter put out that 30, that Xbox gives Sony 30%, to sell over there. Okay. I can do this in the shortest form as possible. And I'm going to do it in a way that you're going to understand. It's like you have a trap house, right? This is your trap house, right? And I come over to your trap house and I go, listen, I'm going to give you some work. What you're going to do is you're going to give me off the top, you take 30% of you and go handle your business. You established it. You establish your location, you establish your clientele, you establish the pipeline, and I came and exploited that and gave you 30% while you take all the risk and I take 70% just so you can continue to work. And you become dependent on me giving you new work every month based upon you surviving off the 30% to keep your customers happy because they love the product. Understand, there is about money, and then there's workers. You got to understand the difference. So when you sit there and you champion, oh, we're getting 30%, we're getting this and we're getting that. Marketing and research and distribution and being present isn't taken lightly. There's a lot of money that goes into marketing and research. There's a lot of money that goes into finding a location. There's a lot of money to establishing community trust. There's a lot of money in building a consumer base that actually buys from you. So if this one didn't establish all of that, but they used you for what you established, who is being exploited? Now, I know you could be a fan of something, but god damn, man. Think. Come on, man. Legendary Intel with the $5 super chat. Sony calling Microsoft right now, how much is a fee to use your cloud infrastructure? Bigger than the network outage. Web Dave, blessings, my brother. With the $2 super chat, PlayStation is dead. Xbox is the future. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. Talk that shit. We here. I do apologize. I am playing around with a ball head outside like I'm crazy. Now, I'm glad that you did mention about the cloud infrastructure over at Xbox. I'm glad you did, because this is what I do in my daytime. So if you go over to Yahoo Finance, you can look at what's in the market and stuff that I look at. But Microsoft Corporation announces the availability of Xbox Cloud Gaming. Why is... You ask yourself, why are they talking about this in the stock market? Why is that a big thing for them? Like, why would that be a thing? The biggest infrastructure right now as they're moving forward is streaming. Now, I know a lot of times you guys say, I don't care about streaming. You're not the target demographic. And it's cool to feel like you think your world matters more than everybody else's. But when the world understands certain things is moving in a different direction, when hardware gets outpriced, and the only way that you can consume what you love is through streaming, then you will have no other choice, because they're making streaming available to all, and to all a good night. Only the very rich will be able to afford having the actual hardware. Because when Microsoft can tell you ahead of time, we're making a curated device, a premium device, if a millionaire is telling you that the device is going to be premium, what do you think millionaires thinks is premium? When they go to buy a vehicle, they're sitting down and they're bringing them champagne. That's premium to them. So you got to start thinking like, shit, when they say premium, what are they trying to do to me here? Right? When they're talking about the Xbox Cloud, it's because now they're able to reach corners of the gaming sector that they weren't able to reach before. And that shows in dividends in the stock market that makes the most sense to them. I told you the biggest problem that for us Xbox dudes was Microsoft looked over at Xbox when they outsold what they do the most. They outsold Windows. When they made more money than Windows for that financial period, the red eye was on Xbox. So now we expect 30% margins. I know they came out and they disputed that. But again, where there's smoke, there's fire. And when there's fire, somebody's getting burnt. And it ain't them, it's us. It ain't them, it's us. AKW with the £2 super chat. Happy New Year, everyone. Salute. I'll tell you Happy New Year, April 1st. But for them, streaming is very important. Streaming is very important based upon them using the algorithm that they have built with the AI to pull in more data. You see, them getting that, because they're training Copilot. You don't see everything. It's like the way everything is linking up, the way they're positioning everything, it's potentially terrifying. Because we're at the mercy, again, of manufacturers that are telling us, due to certain conditions in the marketplace, we are forced to raise prices. You're creating the goddamn conditions. These conditions ain't creating themselves. Make video games, show video games, produce console. That's it. That's it. You added this AI stuff to it that's hurting us. We don't want nothing to do with that. Please, if I put up an AI image, half of y'all dudes don't even want to see the video. So why is their problem our problem? Why? Right? Why the resource that we just, listen, really be honest with you, it's probably just only 200 million of us. Make 200 million consoles and just move out the way and leave them at the regular price. How about that part? Why don't we make a deal that you leave that AI shit over there, do that, leave that there. Make 200 millions of every console. Some people will sell out, some people won't. Who cares, right? Who cares? Maybe the price will go down and it actually sell. How about that part? And leave us to us. But no, that stuff is affecting us because they're selling it to them for the cheap and making us pay more for the smaller amount. Oh, man. Yo, hold on. Legendary Yobi, hold on. My joint just went crazy. My mouse just went insane. It's all Legendary Yobi and went crazy. What you did to my mouse, bro? Hold on. Let me bring this down. Let me bring that down. All right, hold on. Okay, Hollywood Rules did that. Yeah, I did that. All right, go. Did that. All right, yeah, did that. The Web Dave did that. All right, okay, all right. Legendary Yobi, Soldier X-Rank member for 14 months. Let's go. Peace, love, life, bro. Sir King David, the package is touching down today, sir. Send me your address. I got late gifts for the Lord's blessings. When you get your gift, you'll see all the stuff that you ask about. Blessings. That's my guy. I sent you some stuff too. Man, I think I'm going to drop the first part of that documentary. It's not going to be like, 50 Cent's doc on Diddy. I ain't got that level of production. Or maybe I could. I do got a couple of people that are in film school that can probably take my joint and probably do it as a project for school and make some good bread on when they get the internship. I don't know. I'm going to think about it that way. Sith Lord, member for 24 months. Blessings, brother. That's a whole 2 years, man. Happy New Year 2025, the year of Xbox. Blessings, bro. 2 years. That's crazy. That's my guy, man. All right, hold on. Okay, so we did that. All right, so we had Legendary Intel, $5 super chat. The Series S was the last $299 console. Cloud is now baseline. Microsoft is smart to focus on latency and the video quality. xCloud is very good. Blessings. Oni Hope, welcome to Soldier S rank. I salute you, Soldier. X rank. Oh, if anybody's thinking about getting packages and stuff like that, again, I'm doing the next round. Look, there's a big bag of merch. That's one big bag of merch. One big bag of merch. That's one big bag of merch, right? That's one big bag of merch. That's one. This is another big bag of merch. This is another big bag of merch. Another big bag of merch. Merch. Another big bag of merch. I am committed to doing one raffle per month for members. I am committed to doing that. And listen, I'm sitting around with merch all over. Like, I think this is dope as hell. It's SpongeBob dressed up as a Ninja Turtle. Can you see that? Let me cover my face. Maybe there it goes. I think you can see that, right? Yeah. SpongeBob dressed up as a Ninja Turtle. So, listen, I'm committed to doing that. I'm committed to making that happen. And that's going to be a thing. At least once a month, we're going to do it. Now, remember when I told you Sean Layden was a bit of a person that was consumed with Microsoft? Not really Microsoft, but Xbox. And I felt that how obsessed he was, and the fact that he was working with Tencent, how obsessed he was that he felt some type of level of personal defeat when it came to the hands of Philodomus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name. Yeah, that's still a thing. If you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you. But what I'm going to tell you is this: I got the word on him. Former PlayStation exec says Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo must learn from VHS's victory over Betamax if they want to truly expand the console audience, right? And he goes in to talking about how the generational sales cap is at 250 million per generation. It never really grows past that. So when Jim Ryan was telling you that you're not enough, that's based upon those metrics. They've always had these metrics. It's always been a fight for the same 250 million people. Always. They never breach past it. It's like the firmament. They never bust out of the dome. You're not getting out. There's waters above and there's waters below, and you're stuck somewhere in the middle. Every time you listen to me, I'm going to give you some gems. It's how it's going to work. So the crucial lesson is for them is like, he's talking about the industry, and if you're playing Candy Crush, you're a gamer, and that number, but the number is discrete. Consoles sold over any particular generation caps out at 250 million. If you line up all the PlayStation 1, Sega Saturns, Nintendo 64, and you go by generations, it's all about 250 million. Now, what he fails to realize is this, and I'm going to tell you the biggest reason why VHS overtook Betamax. And, everybody has revisionist history. But the problem is, when you take that history, you're trying to form it to align with your agenda. It doesn't work out. See, because you got people that remember history. The only reason why VHS beat Betamax was because of Korn. Korn was the major challenge to Betamax when it came to VHS. VHS signed with Korn. Wherever Korn went, so did the populace. Same thing with HD DVD and Blu-ray. Yada, yada, yada. Corn. If you don't know what corn is, I suggest you just figure it out. Use a lot of different words around to try to figure it out. But what he's trying to say is they got to sell out, right? In order to reach a larger, and that's you just selling out because you're doing something strange for some change. In order to reach a larger demographic of individuals, you have to go where the sleaze lies, right? Because you got to say 250 million is the norms. You have to go where the abnorms stay, right? You have to go where situations where stuff changes. The only way you do that stuff where you open the borders on your machine and allow your machines to be used in any direction that they want to be used in. The reason why the PC market is so large compared to the console market is because it's an open device that allows you to do everything that you want to do whenever, however, and whyever you want to do so. Right? You want to do whatever, whenever, however, in the comfort of your home. That's you. That's your God-given right. Once your door's closed, that's on you and the Lord. So now, when you see Microsoft and Xbox going into the direction of opening up the borders, bringing in different storefronts, doing these things that he feels that these guys should do, well, one is doing it. One is openly telling you, we're changing the paradigm when it comes to this because that 250 is not enough. Is limited in scope, is limited in thought, and is limited in reach. If you're starting to see the decline on consoles, it's based upon the closed nature of the consoles. It's funny and ironic how the PlayStation 5 gets jailbroken right now. It's going to happen to you whether you like it or not. Whether you choose to do it willingly or forcefully, they will find a way to open it and use it however they choose. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be a level of security when it comes to the Xbox Next console. What I'm telling you is the more perceived openness the device has, the more abilities to have that device played and utilized in more different ways, that reaches a different level of demographic because you're no longer looked at as a toy. See, because there's still a segment of the population that looks at gaming as toys. They look at you picking up a controller as you're going to buy a toy. It is still looked at as a hobby or something that is not integral in your life at all. When you got devices like this that can play the games that you have, that is essential, that turns you into an android, that turns you into greater than, then that device is needed. See, what they want to do is turn that thing into this thing. And in order to do that, you got to be more versatile than what that limited thing is doing now. And that limited thing is not going to reach past the 250 million. But with Microsoft's view of how the industry is, oh, mon frere. Remember last year when I was watching and I was looking at how Microsoft was moving and I was telling you guys, hey, they was stayed in the zeitgeist, be it good or be it bad. Every month, it was some news about Microsoft and Xbox. Silver Squire, Happy New Year, blessings, bro. Jago 6. So who's saying we desperate? Who's desperate? Who's desperate? Who's desperate? What are we talking about desperate here? Xbox invading Sony store as desperate will Sony crumble from within. The console market has plateaued. In order to move beyond that, they have to go to more devices that are larger than the small console market. Blessings. This is true. I don't think Xbox was desperate. This is be nice. I don't think Xbox was desperate. Xbox was smart to take titles that have already ran their course and turn them into new money instead of collecting dust and doing nothing. Good. Hence, Xbox Play Anywhere and marketing focus all in one approach. Blessings. Yeah, okay. The mobile PC market are in the billions. Yes. Anyone want a PlayStation 5 Pro? Sony's arrogance has screwed them. All right, yo. And if y'all say I don't read the chat, look at that. I did that. All right. Listen. This thing right here only helps out Nintendo. Because I got to move through these topics. We're going to get through some topics today. And this is the first time I'm streaming on Twitch. So if any of you guys are on Twitch and you like what you see, I mean, not Twitch, TikTok, then God bless. Thank you. I've been using my TikTok for a minute. Haven't went live on it. So Addict showed me today and I did it. Nate the Hate says, the Nintendo Switch 2 dev kit availability has largely been resolved. And I heard that as well because my biggest thing is they're selling all these games on PlayStation. When's the Switch versions coming out? Right? Since these dudes is talking about cash and all that other stuff, when is the Switch versions coming out? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm looking for. So he said, in the case of, let's get back to the overlay because the people on TikTok is acting up. They're mad because I get off screen when it goes to them. In the case of Call of Duty, it doesn't mean that they got dev kits super late either. Just late enough that they couldn't get the work done to launch the game sooner. The dev kits delivery situation has been largely resolved. Now, I heard that as well, and I heard that because they did sign that 10-year deal, it did start back then. And they do have games that they do have on the docket that's going over there. Now, what I would tell you to do is, if you're a Nintendo Switch owner, and yeah, of course, I'm going to pull it out. Of course, I'm going to show you, pause. All right, yeah, Switch 2, yeah, we here, we do that, we bad, whatever. If you're looking forward to Xbox games reaching your Switch 2, well, then you don't have to wait too long. But if you're trying to get any indication of what those games may be, we already saw South of Midnight as one of the games that are, going over there. But then you can look back at some of the PlayStation games that hasn't reached your market or hasn't reached your storefront as potential games that can actually make that leap. Now, fidelity wise, I don't know what happens there, but if you looked at Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can tell that some of those games actually look really, really good and are comparable to Series S games. I know Series X is a little bit of a stretch, and sometimes you kind of come close, but then when it comes to stability and longevity, you kind of falter there, and that's based on the software and the hardware of the device not being as capable as the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. But you are close to being as capable as a Series S, and that is commendable for the little handheld that I deem as overpriced and just overpriced. I'm not going to say underpowered because for what it's able to deliver, I appreciate it, right? I got one, right? I appreciate what it's able to deliver. Just deliver me more of that Super Mario Galaxy 2 or something, right? Give me that. Now, all right, so the news sites that I go to is a little bit different. And you got to go around the world and you got to grab stuff where you can. And, all right. So this is not something that we don't know, but if I don't talk about it, then I think guys are going to be upset, right? Yeah, the Series S is a backpack machine. It's if you got a backpack, you throw it in there. If you got a portable screen on it, it turns it into a wonderful, wonderful device. Probably the best portable current gen machine that you could take with you. That is kind of dope. If I don't talk about this, then I'm going to be viewed as a fraud, right? So, and I got to talk about them saying that the PlayStation 6 specifications confirm chip production to begin in January. Now, this was talked about before, and it says the first trial chip for the device is already planned for January. So, understand, trials and actually doing the console now is two different things, right? So you got the trials of the device that is planned for January, which indicates the transition of development from design stage to the phase of physical implementation of components. Typically, the time interval between the fabrication of the first chip and the official launch of the console to the mass market is about 2 years. Based on this production cycle, the PlayStation 6 release could take anywhere approximately from 2027 to 2028. The scheduled correspondence in the traditional pivotal change of generations of Sony gaming systems. Given the progress in preparing the hardware, the first official details about the platform may appear as early as next year. Unless the company's plans change currently, Sony is accelerating engineer work to prepare the foundation for the next generation, despite the relevance of the current PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5, relevance of the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro models. Now, there's many different things to unpack here, and one of the things that you can unpack here is trials, right? See what works, see what doesn't work, see what is viable in the situation. That's just reporting of a fact based upon the facts that they have at hand before said trials. Now, also looking at the current situations, the current economic situations, you hear that a lot. Those plans can change. I've been through many consoles that were in preparation to get devices made. I lived through the M2. I've been to an M2, which y'all don't know, that was the successor to the 3DO with Trip Hawkins, taking us out, having us at Radio City Music Hall in New York City, wined us and dined us, showed us video and everything. Talked to us afterwards individually, myself and Cog. Forgot who. I was a lot of us that was there. Well, that was my team back in the days. Channel 5, and same team, family. They're not family. That device never came out. You could probably catch some M2 devices inside microwaves and other stuff like that. That device was purchased out by somebody and used for everything else. So I cannot wait to do an interview with Trip Hawkins so I can talk to him about how he lied to my face. But Silent Hill producer aims to release a new game per year. So we go from drought to spout. We go from from none to a ton. We go from, oh my God, I love how 2 was, and that story was so fantastic, till we got F, we're going to get Z, we're going to get X, we're going to get A, we're going to get all type of Silent Hills, and this is one of the games that I didn't get a chance to play last year, right? I didn't get a chance to play Silent Hill F because we was in Japan at the time when it came out, and again, I wanted to play Silent Hill 2 Remake and then make my way over to F. I don't think, and I think he understands the problems that he had with signing on with Bloober Team to do Silent Hill, the remake or reboot or whatever the hell. And that was under PlayStation for a year. But then he sees the difference when he puts out Silent Hill F, and then it sells. And it sells to an extent that made sense when it came to them financially. I don't think exclusivity when it comes to third parties make any sense in this world, based upon your whole portfolio is based upon you being everywhere as possible to extract as much cash as possible. I don't care how small the market is for whatever device. It doesn't make any sense to cut off your nose to spite your face based upon a projected bag that you will get from one company that you may never really receive. That's a projection based on that, and that's not a guarantee. And after you saw what happened, you realize the folly in your ways, and you go right back to making games for everyone on every device. I'm glad they are learning. Because when it comes to third-party company, now listen, you're a first-party company. I don't care if Nintendo keeps their games. I don't care if Xbox keeps their games. I don't care if PlayStation keeps their games. If those are the games that you want to keep in your ecosystem for whatever reason, that's on you. But when you're a third party, and let me tell you this, I'm saying it out of both sides of my mouth. When you're a third party, Microsoft, you better make sure that your games are everywhere. Xbox, understand what I'm saying, right? I'm keeping the same energy. That's why it's in the store, third party before dishonor. Before you dishonor yourself and cash out of the whole thing, go third party. There's a reason why those t-shirts is up there. There's a reason why I put that merch in the store. It's a reason why. And it's a reason why it's death before dishonor. Before you dishonor yourself, you kill yourself. You get your ass out of there. Don't be out here looking like a goddamn fool. Don't play us like that. So a lot of people losing their damn minds on the internet. I said, you better put on that shirt. Send you a shirt for free. Shut up. George Parcells, welcome to Soldier X-Rank. I salute you, Soldier. Next week, the second week of going live, because Saturday, this is the first one, that we'll talk about that right there, about getting those into people's hands. All right. Let me see. Close that. Close that. And we're here. All right. Whew. Boy, I got two more things that I want to talk about, and I want y'all to give me a second while I grab these things. AKW, I'm just seeing your whatchamacallit right now, bro. I'm just seeing your WhatsApp hit up right now, which is crazy, right? But my butt be working, boy. I'll be working. Hold on. Okay, here he is. Now we're going to look forward to Xbox this year. We're going to look forward to what we expect to come out of this month's show. Now, we know that it's Playground Games. And we know what Playground Games has to offer. Now, there's been many debate on, is Fable going to be there? Well, we do know for a fact that we have Forza Horizon 6. Now, Forza Horizon 5 get 4 new reward cars, and that's just to keep everything sparky and keep everything going. But Forza Horizon 6 is set to be in Japan. And I can't wait to take that, for a spin. But we all know that their directs or their showcases of developers, first-party developers, shows more than just one game. And my hopes for Fable is larger than most. Now, my question is, and here's it's a valid question, because I don't think, how can I put it with, Angry Therapist, I salute you, bro. 5 Xbox Frontline memberships, I salute you, brother. That's a blessing. He put y'all in the mix in order to get down with it. And I appreciate you, because I told you before, members are the lifeblood of this stream. Keeps the lights on. You guys are definitely dope. But, all right, so do you think that Angry Therapist, $2 super chat, Happy New Year, blessings. Do you think that Fable is going to be a single player game with no online component? Because Hellblade 2, as visually gorgeous as the game was, and the combat was a little bit limited, was a lot limited in comparison to a lot of single player games of that ilk, right? It was more of on the real storytelling in a graphical package that looked nice and presented well, right? But Hellblade has a lot of psychological stuff going along with it. And then you take yourself over to South of Midnight, where I felt that the storytelling was the backbone of the game, where combat only took second seat to traversal, and I thought that was a greater package than Hellblade, right? Not graphically, because graphically, even though South of Midnight had its own thing going on, I think universally, how we measure graphics, we would say that Hellblade was graphically more intense. Now, with Fable falling somewhere in the middle of 2, right? I think the main problem with Hellblade 2 and South of Midnight was after the content was done, there wasn't anything to expand upon the content. And it will be a shame if Fable comes out and doesn't have any expanded reach upon whatever the story is based upon a single player component. I think that the game can actually have more legs, and I do think Playground is the ones to look forward to, because remember, early on we were looking at Forza and we looked at Forza Motorsports, and even though they turned Forza Motorsports into a live service game, and I'm kind of disappointed in how that was handled, even though we were at the premiere of it and got a chance to sit down and talk with everybody at Turn 10, all the heads of Turn 10. That's Cog and I. That interview is up at Iron Lords Podcast. Go check that out. And I got a chance to meet one of my personal idols when it comes to developers. But I think Playground understands the formula in getting you back in. And the reason why I say that is because as they're talking about the newer Horizon, again, I'll show you again, they're dropping 4 new reward cards, right? So what better way to get you back into a game that you've played is based upon what they were able to illustrate with the current game. So I think they understand their fan base, and I think they understand what it is to have single player games in a situation that needs reoccurring dollars and reoccurring views. Because we don't do episodic content, and I'm still looking for the episodic content in Game Pass, Phil Dominus, Maximus Aurelius Spencer, like you alluded to early on, and what Game Pass was able to provide for single-player games that you said was not dead, where everybody in the industry said single-player games is dead, and that business model cannot survive. And, you had the Sony dudes that was fighting, talking about they make single player games, but we've noticed the numbers in their single player games dwindling. Don't tell me about Ghost of Yode. I don't want to hear it. But now we're going to see Playground Games, and I have high expectations for Playground Games in taking over Fable and bringing Fable to us. But I want to have something more than just finish good story. Right? I don't want it to become something that I just put on the shelf and I don't get a chance to go back and delve into the world with something that is necessary in order to make that world expandable and lived in. Because if you look at the world of Albion, that world is supposed to be a living, breathing world. And I think the only people that's able to do that is Playground Games. And Matt Booty seems to think the same. He's been there a couple of times, had nothing but high marks for them. And if you notice, Matt has no problem with canceling games that don't meet the expectations of whatever internal metric that they feel that a game should hit. We've heard about 30%, and technically maybe it's real, maybe it's not real, maybe it's 10% here, 10% there, 10%, whatever the hell. But, and I don't think Jason Schreier was wrong when he reported what he reported, and he's a real journalist that actually has his sources, and he goes back and forth between multiple sources. I talked to him about his process before, and he comes to a consensus, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth, and he gets to that truth. So I'm not going to ring him out over that, all right? Evan Huff, that's my guy. Member for 21 months. Fable needs a protagonist beautified. I'm with the thought process of having beautiful heroines and heroic men in games. I'm for the defeminization of, I don't want a certain agenda, the feminist agenda, to permeate video games. Like, I don't want the sexist agenda to permeate video games. I want normalcy in the eye of the beholder to be shown. Now, if showing her in that light, where it doesn't make any sense if she's a warrior to be going to put on makeup and getting her eyeliner and all that other stuff done before she goes slay a dragon, I'm with that. But at the same time, she doesn't have to look like Ugly McDucklin doing it. Right? And I'm not going to say that she's horrible. No. Not at all. Actually didn't get a chance to play the game. There's many different assets that goes into making a beautiful heroine in a game. Or a heroine in a game. Right? So I'm not going to objectify that situation based upon the limited views that we had of it. I will give my opinion after I see the new trailer and the new gameplay in January. I think that's fair by all of us. I think all of us can say, let's wait until we see what is close to the final product before we give them a final verdict. Right? I think that is what we should do as gamers. Because we already know what pre-alpha is and alpha is and beta is. We already know that stuff. We know what placeholders is. We know that stuff. We're educated enough in video games to understand that the beginning product doesn't always equal the end product. We also know that dramatic changes can happen from point A to point B if people care. So I'm not going to indict them. But what I am going to say is I'm happy to have made it 1 year more, but the new year starts in April. I am happy and pleased to be sitting in front of y'all in good health and having a conversation with a stuffy nose, right? But more so, I'm happy that you guys tuned in and care about anything that I do. So before I leave you, I'm just going to tell you to game where I try to game the most. Go where win is win and game is game. And I'm going to tell you, try to play the Game Pass, but before you get out of here, before you leave, before you check out the door, let's listen to that intro one more time.
What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game, but shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talking, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game, but shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the
Wait a second. You said, all right, so yes, I did, yet you didn't have a problem calling Gosa Yode Gosa Woke because the protagonist is a mediocre woman. Okay. Let's clear that up really quickly because that's the second time you said that shit and you was wrong. First of all, I called it Gosa Woke because I was teasing somebody else. It was teasing. I was teasing somebody. The person that plays the character has an agenda that is outside of video games, and she brought that agenda into the video game space, which detrimentally impacted the game's sales upon their own opinion. You know who else did that? In Avowed. It was, I think it was a community manager that decided to bring their agenda, the feminist agenda, into, no. Actually, it was an artist. It was the artist that decided to bring his agenda into the gaming space based upon his perceived world and invoke that or vomit that into our world. That's what I was talking about. So me telling you Gosa Woke, then you're trying to say that individually I have a problem with females in video games where I felt that Lara Croft was the best who ever did it when it came to tombs. Better than Indiana Jones, better than Nathan Drake. So I'm not telling you that females can't be fantastic, but they can't look beautiful doing it. Of course, do it. Do it any way you want to do it. There's a ton of movies out there, a ton of shows. Ghost in the Shell. Like, B, don't ever think that I'm against women when the two people that raised me who passed away, which is my grandmothers, are the strongest women in the world. I have daughters, I have a mother, I have sisters, I have a wife. So don't ever in your life feel that you're going to come over here and think that you're going to say something stink and dirty like that. Yeah, I'm a testosterone full man. Yes, I'm full hombre. 100%. But I wouldn't be here if not for a woman. Get your shit together, or the next time I see your ass, I'm going to banish you to the shadow realm. Get back to that goddamn intro.
What's a man or a king? What's to the saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game, but shoot, I said as you claim it. It's that Xbox. Spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talking, no riddling. Moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, knock grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's to the saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game, but shoot, I said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted, this what you